Good day, everyone. Here you have Dr. Sekujoku. I put together a few slides here to talk about coronavirus. Since the outbreak of this outbreak, I've been hearing and watching many videos in social media and posting talking about coronavirus. And put this together to clarify a few things. Even so, it's brief, but I think it should be a good contribution to people who are in doubt. I think this is not a time to doubt. This is the time to seek help whenever you show symptoms of having contracted the coronavirus. This is about life, so you have to take it seriously. Here, the coronavirus. Before talking to coronavirus, I would like to say briefly what is the disease, what is the virus, what is the coronavirus, how does coronavirus infect human, what are the coronavirus symptoms once you are infected, and how could you do to protect yourself. This is the most important thing here. How do we protect ourselves from this infection? First of all, what is a disease? A disease, different to injury, a disease is a disorder of structure or function in a human, especially one that produces specific symptom or that affect a particular part of the body. So it's different, as I said earlier, to when you go football, injure yourself and feel pain. This one is from your organism start showing weakness or sign of not working well. So this is called a disease. Here I have a young man, very healthy, strong, he can do anything. But when something starts hurting inside, it will be like a car when you drive it and something starts wrong, it starts showing signs in the dashboard. And those signs here, whether pain or coughing and sneezing or having difficulty to breathe or being tired, the fatigue, those are called symptoms. And these symptoms are quite obvious in some diseases, and some people, when they have, for example, the coronavirus, as we're talking here, they don't show those symptoms, and this makes it difficult to control its spread. What is a virus? The virus is not an organism like a bacteria. The virus is a particle. It consists of genomic information coated inside a protein. It is too small to be seen by light microscope, but it can multiply. The difference with the bacteria, the virus can only multiply once inside the host cells. The bacteria, if you put it in a petri dish in the lab, provide food, the bacteria will grow and proliferate, which is not the case of the virus. The virus has to put it inside the cells to live and proliferate, and not any kind of cell. They have what you call permissive cells. Those cells, the virus can get in. Because the virus to get in one cell, it has to find the door to get in. Otherwise, it won't get there. I will talk about it later on. Here I have shown a picture of different shapes here, a few shapes of viruses. This one is round shape, which is why I called coronavirus due to the shape. Here you have this one with cylindrical shape here with a tail, and here you have kind of dendritic here to clamp to the cell and deliver the genomic material. Here, this one here I have shown is structured here. You have the head, the genomic information, and you have tail here and the tail fibers, which are used to clamp to the cell, the host cell, and deliver its genomic material through this whole. Some viruses, they don't need to get inside the cell. The only thing they need is to deliver genomic material inside the cell, and this genomic material will be used to make daughter viruses. And mainly we have two types of viruses. And this distinction between the two types of viruses is the genomic material coated inside the protein. Either the virus has the DNA as the genomic material, then it's called DNA virus. And the DNA virus made of the DNA coated with the proteins. The other end, you have the RNA virus. The RNA virus, it has RNA as genomic material, ribonucleic acid. The normal process in biology, you come from DNA. From the DNA, you make RNA, and from the RNA, you do downwards and make proteins. But we have the viruses here, they don't have DNA, they have RNA. Once inside the host cell, they can build protein from here, and the protein from they build here will either help them transform this RNA to DNA and start the normal process of biology, making all the RNA and proteins and make itself. So as I said, the RNA virus, they have RNA as genomic information coated with protein. This is the virus. The coronavirus. The coronavirus is not a new virus. That one we're talking now, the COVID-19, is from a big family of viruses which have been here for since and infect human and animals. So it's not a new virus. The variant, the new virus generated by mutation. Mutation means the genomic information has switched its bit to make something different and can make it either more virulent or less. Here you have the international community. We gathered and named this new coronavirus as SARS-CoV-2, which is the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, and the disease is COVID-19 is the name they gave. And this will allow people who work on it know that they work in the same thing. For example, a team in UK, a team in US, Canada, South Africa, India, they will work in the same thing, or Israel. That's very helpful for the scientific community to share the knowledge, to share information about the same thing. And from now, we have this shape, which is being published to know how it looks like under the electronic microscope. And in the composition, you have the RNA as genome coated with proteins. How does this coronavirus infect human? So the virus to get inside human, as I said, the publication from people who've been working on it show that this SARS-CoV-2, the virus causing COVID-19, get inside the cell by using the angiotensin converting enzyme receptor 2. This is the receptor expressed inside the pulmonary alveolar epithelial type 2 cells. This is the cells you can find in the lung. If cells don't express this receptor, then the virus can't get inside the cells. So those cells can't be affected by the virus. This is why when people are sick of the coronavirus, the location of the disease is inside the lung. not in the mouth, not on the ear, not in the eyes, but inside the lung, because those cells inside the lung express the receptor, which is the virus door to get inside the cell. Let's check this. This is the human being, where you have the digestive apparatus and the respiratory apparatus. Here you have the trachea getting into the lung, and from the mouth get to the esophagus and get to the stomach, and then the digestion. Okay, I have amplified this part to show the process. Let's say this is the virus here. We have two viruses here. One located near to the mouth, one located near to the nose. The virus gets through the mouth. You drink water, and it drains it through your stomach. Inside the stomach, there's no chance because the stomach is acidic, and it will kill the virus. So no infection. And the second thing is here. Once here, the virus can't go back to the mouth and go to the lung because you have two separate pathways, one through the mouth, esophagus, and then through the stomach. The other one through the nose, trachea, and the lung. So let's say now the virus goes through the nose, through trachea. Okay, so the mouse will end in the lung. Okay, but remember here, between the trachea and the esophagus, you have this kind of connection. So if you have the virus here in the mouth here, and then you don't drink water, the virus can progress, get in this connection, and go, rather than go through the esophagus, go through the trachea and go to end in the lung, like here. So this is why it's important to drink water very often. If it's here, just drain it inside the stomach. Inside the stomach, as I say, it is acidic, and the virus will die. But once in the lung, I'll show you what happened. Let's expand here you have the lung here, and let's expand this part of the lung. This is what you have inside the lung. You have these small bags here, the alveolar, and inside the small bag you have these cells, alveolar epithelial tips, 2 cells inside there. And remember, these cells, they express this receptor, which is the door the virus used to get inside the cell. And the virus can't multiply out of the host, but inside the cell it will multiply. What happened inside the cells? Our virus start multiplying, 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 multiplying. So once you have these many viruses inside one cell, the cell will explode and liberate the daughter viruses, which will infect the nearby cells and start the same process. So they will multiply themselves, destroy cells, attack the nearby cells, and continue multiplying till you have this kind of scenario where you have destruction of your lung tissue, which is quite net-like tissue, being destroyed by this virus. And before getting to this stage, the heavy destruction of, you have those symptoms, as I said earlier, to show. And what happened, we will see the people once they starting coughing. Okay, so it always good to protect yourself when you cough and stop spreading the virus around, because it's quite health concern nowadays. Spreading it around is not helpful. Or people sneezing, and that's the same thing. It's always good. Protect the people around you, protect yourself, otherwise you will keep infecting yourself with your own sneeze. And the symptom continues here. Have high temperatures, fever, or the person being very tired and stay in the bed. How could we protect ourselves This is, as I said, the most important thing. When people are in denial, saying the virus doesn't exist, you can't catch this kind of population, I don't think it's true. I think the human being express those receptors. I don't see the difference between human being, either you are white, black, yellow, or green. You will express those receptors inside your lungs, so you are vulnerable to the virus. So the best way is protect ourselves. So protect yourself first. Wash your hand and keep yourself clean. Using the sanitizer, alcohol sanitizer, because the alcohol will fix the virus and kill it. Is why we use the alcohol, or use something which is acidic. The acid will lyse it, kill it. That's true. Something basic will be good, but something basic will also attack your hand. So better use something alcoholic, or something which is acidic base, not something which is harsh like bleach. Bleach will attack your skin. So better use something which is quite effective against the virus, but not harmful to your hands. Use soap to clean yourself, wash your hands, wash them clearly, with soap, because the soap is good, very, very good in disinfecting. And avoid touching your face. That's very important. As I showed earlier, the virus will get through your nose, then use the trachea, get to the lung. And this is where it is quite very difficult to handle. As soon as inside your lung, you will start getting inside those cells, and inside those cells will start replicating and produce itself and kill those cells, destroy your respiratory system, and will be suffocating. Is where, unfortunately, death can survive by having your lung destroyed. So the best thing is to avoid touching your face, because you don't know whether your hand has been contaminated. Touch some door, to avoid it. Touch your face. If you touch your face, make sure you wash your hand before doing so. Once you have cleaned yourself, it's bin it, like the flu. Clean it, bin it. That's the best thing. Don't leave it around, because the virus can actually survive for 24 hours if you put it in this kind of tissue. So bin it. That's the best thing to do. And the another thing to take in account is maintain social distancing. Someone is coughing, you better avoid him. Not to kiss him, either your wife, your husband. As soon as showing those symptoms, you better put a distance between him and you, or between her and you, at least 1 meter. Handshake. Someone has the virus, you shake hand with him, you put it on your hands. When it touches your face, you transfer it to your nose, from your nose or your mouth, go to your trachea, lung. Inside the lung, the virus will start spreading and destroying your lung. So avoid it. The crowd. Once you have many people in one area, you increase the probability of someone to have it. So the person can spread it around. So you better isolate yourself when it is crowded, particularly nowadays. No matter the law between you and the person, if someone starts showing symptoms, then it'd be better, to keep a distance between the person and you, like Obama here and Michelle. So when Obama starts coughing here, showing some sign of weakness, then you better put a distance of 1 meter between the two and avoid spreading of the disease. That's the main thing. Avoid it and be safe. Thank you. So I would like to thank my sponsor to put this slide together, and thank you for your time to listen to it, watch it, and we can share it to clarify things. This is my contribution, and I hope you have time and enjoy it. Thank you. Sekou.